Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Craze of Commerce. Our today's topic is insurance. What do you exactly mean by insurance? See, in our day-to-day life, we most of the time face many financial losses, or there are a lot of risk which is surrounded around us. So to have a protection against this risk, or to have a protection for our financial loss, we need to have an insurance. Okay, so insurance is a way to protect from such financial loss. It is a protection, it is a cover for your property, your assets, or you can say for your entity, or even for yourself. Okay, see, now as per definition, insurance is a contract. What is insurance? It is a contract. It is a contract between the two persons, the one who is willing to have insurance policy and the insurance company. These two persons represented by a policy in which an individual or entity receives financial protection. So that policy is for what? For receiving financial protection. Now who is going to receive this financial protection? Individual means a person or an entity, be it in your organization, your business, your firm, anything. Or reimbursement against the losses from an insurance company, or you can say the loss which you have faced, you will get the financial reimbursement, you will get the money back from the insurance company, but when? Only when you will have an insurance policy. Okay, now let's understand some terms which are very important to understand the types of insurance, or to understand various principles of insurance. First is insurer. Now, who is insurer? A firm or a person who agrees to compensate the insured. That means insurer in short is an insurance company who is promising you to pay you the financial loss, to compensate you from the financial loss. Okay, now if this insurance is taken for life, if it is a life insurance, then insurer here is called as assurer. Why? Because he assures you, the person, the life insurance company is going to assure you to pay some money on the maturity date. That's why in case of life insurance, insurer is called as assurer. Okay. Next, insured. Now the person is protected against certain loss. Insurer is an insurance company who is going to promise you to pay on the financial loss. Now insured is the one who is taking the insurance policy. That means we people. Okay. And in case of life insurance, insured is called as a assured, because he has been assured, he has been given assurance by the insurance company that you are going to receive the money in case you are facing any financial loss. Clear? So in case of life insurance, insured is called as assured. Next is premium. It is a consideration paid by the insured to the insurer. That means the one who is taking the insurance policy is going to pay some money, be it monthly, be it quarterly, 6 monthly, or anyhow. The period might change, but the person who is going to give the money to the insurance company, that money is called as premium. Okay. Next is policy. It is a statement of a contract which contains all the terms and conditions regarding the insurance contract. See, now we saw in the definition that insurance is a contract between the insurer and insured. Now that contract means only here it is policy, which will contain all the terms and conditions regarding your insurance. Clear? Next, claim. It is the demand made by the insured. See, now you're facing some financial loss, so you're going to claim the insurance company, you're going to request the insurance company to compensate your loss. So that requirement or that demand which is given by the insured to the insurer, to the insurance company, is called as a claim. Next is proposal. Return requested by insured to the insurance company. So insured is going to give in return that I have faced such financial loss, please compensate me for that financial loss. So the written request is called as a proposal. Next is a subject matter. It refers to the subject or entity, that is life, property, ship, etc., which is insured against the policy taken. That means for what purpose you are taking the policy? For the protection. Now you need protection for what? You need protection for your business, for your organization, for your firm, or even for yourself. So the subject for which you are taking the insurance, suppose I am taking the insurance for my business, so business becomes my subject. So subject matter is what the insurance for which you are taking, the policy for which you have taken, that is the subject matter. Now let's understand how this insurance is working. Okay, as we know, it is a contract between the two persons, that is insurer and insured. And even I have said that insurer is a insurance company and insured will be a person, or suppose in this case you take the insured is you. So you are in a need of help. You are in a need of help. Why? Because you have faced some financial loss. So what you will do, you will file a claim. You will demand the insurer to compensate that financial loss. That means you are going to demand to whom? To the insurance company, that I have faced such financial loss, please compensate me for that. Now the highlighting point over here is that when will insurance company help you? Only when you will have an insurance policy. So before claiming to insurance company, you have to make sure that you are having some insurance policy for that. Clear? Now let's study principles of insurance. There are 7 types of principles. First is principle of utmost good faith, principle of insurable interest, principle of indemnity, principle of subrogation, principle of contribution, principle of mitigation of loss, and principle of causa proxima. These all principles are very easy to understand. Let's understand each with an example. First is principle of utmost good faith. That means there should be a good understanding, there should be a good faith between the two persons. Who are those two persons? Those are insurer and insured. Okay, as a client, it is the duty of the insured to disclose all the facts of the insurance company. That means the one who is taking the insurance policy is supposed to disclose each and every detail about what the insurance company might ask him. Okay, he shouldn't hide any of the details. Any fraud or misrepresentation of the fact can result into cancellation of the contract, and later on if the insurance company comes to know that insured has made any fraud or any misrepresentation of the facts is being disclosed, then insurance company will cancel the contract. And this principle is applicable to all type of contracts, be it fire insurance, marine insurance, any kind of insurance. So let's understand it with an example. See, suppose Mr. Shantanu has not provided information regarding the heart surgery at the time of taking policy. Now Mr. Shantanu wants to take an insurance policy, but before taking the insurance policy, he has not disclosed or he has not highlighted to the insurance company that he has gone through a heart surgery. That means he is having some heart problem. So it is his duty to make it understand or make it inform to the insurance company that he is having some heart problem. Okay, so what happens after his death? Insurance company comes to know that he was suffering from heart disease. So as he has not disclosed the fact, insurance company will not compensate for his death. He will not compensate or he will not compensate his family members for his for his policy. Why? Because he has not given all the details regarding his health, which was asked by the insurance company previously before taking the insurance policy. That means he has hide his information. So what the insurance company always says, that there should be a principle, or there should be a relation of utmost good faith. That means insurer should inform everything to the insured, and even insured should inform each and every detail to the insurer. There shouldn't be anything hide. Okay. Next is principle of insurable interest. It is very important that you have a keen interest in the things that you buy insurance for. It is called principle of insurable interest. That means here they are saying, suppose Mr. A is owning some bike, okay, owning some bike, and now he has faced with an accident. So the bike has been completely crashed. So he approaches insurance company and asks for the compensation. So in this case, insurance company will compensate him because he has taken the insurance policy, and secondly, he is having the interest in that bike because the bike is his own. Okay. Now in second case, if Mr. A sells out this bike to Mr. B, and if accident occurred by Mr. B, so in this case Mr. A is no more having the right to compensate on the bike which has been sold out to Mr. B. That means here the interest of Mr. A is no more. Now the interest has been transferred to Mr. B, as Mr. A has sold the bike to Mr. B. That means there should be an insurable interest, that property should be your own. It shouldn't be transferred to another person and then you can claim. No, this will never happen. Okay. Insurable interest is often related to the ownership. As I said, now Mr. A has sold the vehicle, sold the bike to Mr. B. That means the ownership is transferred from Mr. A to Mr. B. So Mr. A will have no interest in the property of Mr. B. Clear? Next is principle of indemnity. The principle of indemnity is such principle of insurance stating that an insured may not be compensated by insurance company in an amount exceeding the insured economic loss. That means, suppose Mr. A has a two-wheeler, okay, and his insurance policy is of rupees, suppose 10 lakhs, and he met with an accident and the damages occurred only of 6 lakhs. So in this case, insurance company is going to compensate Mr. A with only rupees 6 lakhs and not with the rupees 10 lakhs. Okay. Why? Because the economic loss which Mr. A has suffered is of only rupees 6 lakhs. Clear? So they are saying that the insurance company may not be compensate the amount exceeding the economic loss. Okay. So again, this principle is not applicable to life insurance. It is applicable only to fire, marine and general insurance. Next is principle of subrogation. The principle of subrogation enables the insured to claim the amount from the third party responsible for the loss. It allows the insurer to pursue legal methods to recover the amount of loss. The right of ownership passes from the insurer. Now let's understand this with an example. If you get injured in a road accident due to the reckless driving of the third party, see, you are driving a vehicle on a road and you get injured, and the reason of you getting injured is because the third party was driving very recklessly. Clear? The insurance company will compensate you for the loss. Here the insurance company will compensate you for how much ever the loss you have incurred, and also sue the third party to recover the money paid as a claim. That means, see, a complaint has been filed that because of the third party the damage has been occurred. So what will happen? The insurance company is going to compensate you for the damage, but in this case the vehicle will be hand over to the insurance company. Why? Because insurance company is giving you the money, is compensating you, so the vehicle is now transferred to whom? To the insurance company. That means now you are having no right to claim for further damages or anything from the insurance company, as insurance company has given you the money and you have also handed over your vehicle to the insurance company. And later on, after the investigation by the insurance company, the insurance company came to know that this accident was occurred because of the third person driving recklessly. So your insurance company will ask third party to pay to you can say the will ask the third party for the compensation, will take the money from the third party. Clear? It is applicable to fire, marine and general insurance only. It is not applicable to life insurance. Next, principle of contribution. The principle of contribution is implemented when multiple insurance policies are covering the same property or loss. The total payment for the actual loss is proportionately divided among the insurance company. Now suppose insurance company has has taken the insurance for his business, and this insurance he has taken from three insurance company A, B and C. Clear? Now if the person is facing some loss in the business, he will not compensate it from only first company, that is A company. No, he will ask the compensation from all the three companies, insurance A, B and C. That is what is principle of contribution. Your loss is going to be contributed from these three insurance companies. Clear? And if the one insurance pay full compensation, then that insurance can claim the proportionate amount from the next insurer. So that is the understanding between the remaining two insurance companies. Next is principle of mitigation of loss. In the event of some mishap to the injured property, the insured must take all the necessary steps to mitigate or minimize the loss. Now, sometimes it happens that I have taken the insurance policy from the insurance company, so why should I mitigate the loss? Mitigate means why should I reduce the loss? No, it is a wrong understanding. The insurance company says that, for example, if your fire is on if your house is on fire, so it is your first duty to try to reduce the fire. Might be you call fire brigades or anything, but you should first try to mitigate the loss, you should first try to reduce the loss, and after that only insurance company will compensate you. But if insurance company comes to know that you haven't tried to mitigate the loss, you haven't tried to reduce the fire, in this case insurance company is not going to help you financially. So it is very important that the person should be prudent, the person should be very understandable that it is firstly his property, and then only he will get the insurance claim. The last one is principle of causa proxima. Proximate cause literally means the nearest cause or the direct cause. The principle is applicable when the loss is the result of two or more causes. Okay, so here for example, a house was insured against the risk of theft. There was a theft in the house, and before leaving, the house was set on fire by the thieves. Means your house or your property is being damaged because of two things, by the theft and also by the fire. Now here are two causes of loss, as the house was insured against the theft and not by the fire, and we have insured the house only for the loss by theft. So insurance company is only going to compensate you for the loss by theft and not for the loss by fire. Clear? So this was all the principles of insurance, like principle of utmost good faith, where you are supposed to disclose all the facts regarding your property. Next, principle of insurable interest, where a person should have an interest in his life as well as in his property. Next is principle of indemnity. Indemnity is where immediately or is up, like you can say, the guarantee or the assurance is given by the insured. Next, principle of subrogation. The principle of subrogation. Next is principle of contribution, principle of mitigation of loss, where you have to mitigate or reduce your loss, and principle of causa proxima, where the loss might be of two cases, because of two cases, but you will be compensated for only where you have taken the insurance policy. Hope you understood the principles of insurance. Thank you.